welcome to our unapologetic era. Things are a little bit differently today, as you may see. But Leah has moved on to bigger and better things in life, and we're so happy for her.
I haven't moved on from the podcast. I just moved on from our podunk town I grew up in.
Yeah, out of Baton Rouge. But you'll see us again together soon enough.
Also, I did not hear the countdown, so my bad.
Oh, no, because he's in another room. You wouldn't be able to hear him anyway, so that's fine. I could barely hear him. Okay. Well, what are we talking about today?
Okay. So I'm in Nashville, and I would like to say that I have my shit together, but not even close to having my shit together. I don't even have all of my shit. I don't have pots and pans. I don't know why I don't have pots and pans, but I don't have any pots and pans. So I've been living off of like microwave meals for a month now. But yeah.
Why don't you just go buy?
Y'all can hear me.
Why don't you just go buy some?
Well, they're at my place. It's just they didn't get packed up. There's a long story about the moving process here because, yeah, my dad told me to call ICE at one point.
Holy Jesus. You are in a gun-bearing state.
But anyway.
All right, what are we talking about today?
I will say I acted very unapologetic, but it wasn't in a very graceful, classy way.
You should have videoed it.
Do what?
So you should have videoed it. We can see it.
I did. I put it live on Facebook. And my mom told me to take it down because I was going to lose my job. I did not take it down.
Ruh-roh.
It's not taken down. It's still there, but only for friends to see.
Gotcha.
I'm not friends with my boss. Well, okay, so this is different for sure, but we still have a real topic to talk about. And I'm going to kind of like kick it off because it actually stemmed from a conversation I was having the other night with a male friend of mine, which I know I always say that, but this is where you talk about relationships and genders and how they intermix. And so this is how these things happen.
Right.
But I want you to, I'm going to say this about myself, and then I want you to say how your feeling on this is also. But the most attractive thing to me, and I've said this multiple times on the podcast, is I want a man that makes me feel safe, that I can relax in him and rest in him and feel safe in the fact that I can trust his lead and he's not going to lead me into chaos. Okay. What is the most important thing for you, Ashley, to like in a man? And I know you're married, but you still have a most important thing.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a minute to regroup because I thought we were talking about another topic.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
So I'm not necessarily prepared for this one. Okay. Because I'm
getting a real answer.
I think a man that you can follow that's not going to create chaos and that can hold you and your family up without being dropped, basically. I mean, like, he's not going to drop the ball in leading your family. But I'm going to go a little biblical on this one. So, but hear me out, because most of our listeners, I mean, we're just fat, ugly pigs apparently lately, if you read all our messages. But we are coming from a man's rib, right? Women are produced from a man's rib. What is a rib purpose in your body, right? It protects your vital organs, your heart. It held you up. So as a woman, we have intuitive thoughts, and this may get a little off topic when we come back, but we have intuitive thoughts that men don't have. So we're creating as a wife, and what we're bringing is a counsel in our position to lead and guide our husbands also. So I would kind of counterbalance and expect the same thing for my husband, or relationship is someone that we can counsel together and be a partnership.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
and
really...
Look, by me saying that I want a man that I can rest in and that he can lead me on a safe path doesn't mean that I don't want to still be partners. It's not, there's none of this like he's the one that controls and I'm submissive. I do believe in the gender roles having to, like, we have our own strengths is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And me leading the pack is not my strength, in my opinion. So
But that's not what women are meant to do. That's not in the, and you're not being submissive at all. And I wish I could think of a better word right now, but I can't. But you're not being submissive. You're an equal to what your partner is, but you're working together. It's a team. Like we each have our
This
good
actually,
attributes.
what you're saying, I completely agree with, and you're trying to explain it the same way I was trying to explain it.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm the best communicator in the world, so it's very possible that I just miscommunicated. But I tell this, so this guy and I are talking, and it's like this is a real friend conversation. There's nothing romantic about it. And I told him
Yet.
that's what I want in a man. I'm looking for a man that can do exactly what I just said.
Right.
His response to me was, "Don't you feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on a man?"
Oh.
And I was really caught off guard, like truly caught off guard. Immediately, I was a little annoyed because I was like, here we go again. Like, men are they're pushing this whole like women need to pick up their, they need to pick up their end of the deal and they need to be more accountable. And that's what, because you and I are bombarded with that, I think that's why my initial reaction was that. I don't think that's how he meant it. But
Well, I
I
mean, if you can't
I think what he was
handle,
missing was what you're saying, is that just because I was saying that I wanted a man to lead and to be able to lead me down a safe path didn't mean that I wasn't there. I still wasn't going to be by his side throughout it, holding him up whenever he needed to be held up.
right. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That we're
But
saying, yeah.
how many men have I personally, I know, had conversations with where I said exactly what I just said and they thought what he said but didn't express it and walked away from that conversation with completely the wrong opinion or the wrong thought of what I meant by what I said, and thinking that other women feel that they want, a man to just carry everything.
That's not what we
And
mean at all.
no,
That
yeah,
is not
no,
what
no,
we
no, no,
mean at
not
all.
at all. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I love your analogy about the ribs because even if you're not religious, even if you're not spiritual, even if you don't believe in the same God that I believe in, you still can believe in the science of our bodies, which is what you just said. And that's that this is how our bodies were created, however that may be.
Right.
And those bones do protect um, the vital organs. I have a question for you, and you're my educated person out of the two of us. Do men actually have one less rib than women?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. That might be something that, see if Ken can Google that for us while we're talking
He's on it,
to
he
find
said.
to
He said
find
he's
out
on
how,
it.
if that's actually a real
I
thing
am
or not.
99% sure that's a fact.
Well, I don't want to say it is and we're wrong, but I think so too. And again, that brings it back
Wait,
to science and not just the Bible.
what'd you say? Nope, equal. We each have 24 ribs,
Okay,
12
well,
on each
it
side.
doesn't prove the Bible part, but it still proves the equal part. And yeah, I mean, I do feel that men and women should be equally standing next to each other, but we have different strengths. And
Yeah.
if we didn't have different strengths, we wouldn't be able to pick each other up whenever we're in a bad spot.
Well, also going like the point of view when he brought up that's a lot of pressure. Well, you know what? It's
Mhm.
not a lot of pressure to me. Like you're just not my person.
Yeah,
Like that
agreed.
you're not,
Agreed.
you could find someone that expects less out of a relationship and you can be okay, but you're not my person. And
Yeah.
that, I mean, like, if you can't lead my family the way I need you to, then you're just not my person. And you can go find somebody that can really easily because we all have different opinions and boundaries and expectations.
I absolutely agree with you. And now that I'm older, I'm going to see more of this in the dating world, which is men who are really set in their ways. And so any sort of minuscule inconvenience or icky feeling, they're going to write women off because just like I've made the comment over and over again about how I've already figured out how to do it by myself, why would I bring in somebody that drags me down? They're going to feel exactly the same way. And in this moment, I feel like he did kind of take it that way. Like, why would I bring somebody into my life who's going to put more pressure on me or hold me back from the excelling that
Right.
I'm
The
doing?
whole point is
Um,
you're not creating chaos for each other. So it goes both ways. And
When we're
that's
younger, I feel like we take a little bit more of a risk on people in that sense. And
right.
as we get older, it's like, nah, I've done all this by myself and I've built this by myself. You're not coming in and redirecting.
I'm not here to be your mama. Like, right. Like,
Oh,
like we're not going backwards. Yeah,
right.
absolutely right. But that's interesting
Well,
that he brought that up and that's the way he said it.
And look, and I have it in writing. So I like went back and like reread it. And I was like, did and it really was interesting, like how I had it like an initial knee jerk, like emotional reaction to it. And I will say, I do think 50% of it is the crap that you and I deal with responding to comments from men on our posts.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
the other half of it was, no, I didn't mean that in a disrespectful way. I meant it with the utmost respect of, I think so highly of this person that I would allow them to lead me wherever they feel is best to be led.
Yeah. Not and it's not either or of taking over. You're not trying to take over a relationship and have control. It's nothing about control when you're leading. It's
No, but I'm
just
glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of women, especially women who, oh golly, the ones our age, because we are technically middle aged. I mean, that's where they get the Karen name from. Is that's what they do? Is they control everything, and you see these men who look beat down. I don't know if they are or they aren't, but they look beat down, and their woman just controls everything from top to bottom.
and that's not what their gender as a man's supposed to be. So,
And it's not a gender as a woman's supposed to be.
no. But I think women go into those roles because they're not being fulfilled by the man in their life. So women
Yeah.
will take charge in a way that is not traditional role, and the men will be beaten down like you said because it's not what it's meant to be, but because they mentally or whatever it is for them. I forgot what I was saying, but anyway. Like I was like going somewhere and I'm like complete brain farts all together. But women step into the roles that they're not meant to for the lack of their man doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, that's okay. So that's the other side of it, is why are women stepping up and doing it all themselves? Because the men are setting back and letting that happen. Now, I don't want to like push too far into this, because I do feel, from life experience and watching my friends and family do this, both young and old, generation to generation, I've seen it over and over again where these men take a step back and they let the women, once there's children involved, they let the women just take over. The men are not, they're not doing schedules, they're not bringing the children to all the different functions, they're not figuring out what's going to be for dinner, they're not making sure that their socks match for school the next day, or what Bible character they have to dress for on Thursday, but and still working a 40-hour a week job. Okay, so that's a problem. That's a real problem. And I don't know if it's ever going to be addressed here in America. I really don't. I think it's part of American culture now, and it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to ruin us.
You're doing
'Cause
detriment
women
to
can't. They just like, we're tired.
yeah. But
We're really tired.
all those things you listed, I feel like those are typically women take-ons, but if he's sitting back and let her take 100% control, what is he leading then? Like what is
He's not. He's bringing in a paycheck, which is wonderful, but he's contributing. Think about that. So you, in that scenario, I'm not talking about men across the board, but in that particular scenario that I'm talking about, he is not providing for his family. He's contributing to his family because she's working also. She's working a full-time job also.
so
So
is
you're
pro-
not the provider either.
well that was my next question is he defined as a provider then or not?
No. No, he is now an adult child.
Well, that sucks. Like I don't want
Absolutely agree.
you got
And
enough
this is
children, you don't need
literally
another
part of
one.
our culture, so it's like totally accepted. It's so somebody said recently, and I can't remember where I saw it at, or but it was a man, and he said that he wanted, his goal in life was to have children. That sounds very good out the mouth. Like, oh, he wants to be a family guy, he wants to be a dad, he wants to, he wants to be a father. But what's he going to do? He doesn't carry the child. He doesn't birth the child. He's not going to dress the child for Bible Character Day. He's not going to do dinner, but he is still going to hunt 3 months out of the year. And he's still going to drive the truck that he chose, whether you liked the gray or the green. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, and it's that I'm sounding like I'm really like beating on men right now, and I'm really not. When I'm beating on what society and our culture has accepted as normal, because it's not okay.
So this is really hard for me to relate because my household and we do not function that way. Like
I know.
whatever needs to be done gets done and whoever's there at the time does it. It's not and we don't have a traditional role. I work days, he works nights. I come home and the house is spotless and dinner is made and he's off to work. Like, we don't follow any kind of traditional roles. We just take care of what needs to be taken care of when it needs to be taken care of. Um,
Ash, your husband is not from America.
yeah, true.
This falls back into exactly what I was just saying about this being, I know, a Western American culture problem. That's, I don't know, started back maybe when feminism started. I'm not sure. But I don't know why we had women stand up for us saying that we want more rights. And no, I don't want to do any more laundry. I don't want to have to go get his medicines when he has a cold and take care of the children still and and I have to run the freaking board meetings at work. And and at work, and you'll know this better than I will because you've worked more corporate jobs than I have. But at work now, because you're the woman, you're in charge of making sure that all the holiday parties are perfect. If we have people come in from out of town, who's gonna make sure there's little crumpets that are there? And now I'm doing it at work too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I manage a whole entire office. So right. I'm the one scrubbing
Like,
like, it's
now
just
let's go back to the men telling us that we need to be more accountable.
accountable for what do you mean? Or what? What am
More
I
accountable for not doing our part.
what's our part? We do get a lot of
Apparently,
we're not
I don't know
taking
what I guess we don't own dicks. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what more we could do. I really don't. I really don't. And I have been that wife. I have been the one who tried to be cool and laid back and do exactly what the husband wanted to do. And he ended up, and then I also was the wife that whenever he came home from work, and we worked opposite hours also. So he slept all day long. I worked all day long. And then he worked at night. And I still came home, did the laundry, kept the house clean, made sure he was fed. Like, I don't,
but did you take that responsibility on yourself? Because you
but I
thought
also
that's
was
what
raised that that's how I was supposed to do it.
right, that's because you thought that was a traditional role and how it was supposed to work. But that traditional role is not a working daytime wife.
Right.
So your priority, I mean, another biblical standpoint is you're there to in support and a help of your spouse. That's
And the children, I think, and the children too. I mean, if we go back to if we go back, most women stayed at home with the kids.
mhm.
So yeah, that was our job, and it makes complete sense then that you're the one that's making sure everything's taken care of because that is your job. But what happens now when you're expected? And we talked about this in a previous episode. When you're expected to match the income that your husband makes on top of doing all of those things, how are we not supposed to burn out? How are we not supposed to get too tired?
You're with the wrong person. I
I could wait. What'd you say?
I said they're with the wrong person. Like, we get a lot of messages. I mean, they're
Okay,
mostly male, but
so that's another thing we've gotten a lot of is that women just give up, or they just decide they wake up one day and they decide I don't want to be with this man anymore, and they just leave. And how dare us?
that wasn't just one day. That's probably been in our head for a year
And it's
of
probably tried to been talked about.
yeah, attempted and trying to be heard and he's not hearing her. And a woman just
So
doesn't pick
who
up and
is
leave.
dropping the ball here?
Both. They both are. Because a
How do
woman is
how do we
pushing
reverse it?
a family unit like mine. I don't know. Like, but I don't have a traditional world. I'm not married. I'm married to a foreigner. And we do I mean, there are conversations, let me don't get me wrong. There's conversation him and I have had to have when I'm like, you're stepping into my motherly role and I need you to back off because now I'm losing my ability to mother my children because you're doing
Yeah,
such a fucking good job. And
right.
so we have other problems that, and even in a traditional role, and we share extensive responsibility. And he takes on way more than I do a lot of times. But sometimes I'm just like, you got to stop because I'm not even getting to mother my children. And I feel like I'm in a masculine role and we have to have conversations about balance.
Um, in your previous marriage, where you weren't married to someone who wasn't raised here in our country,
Right.
did you still have those issues?
No. So that was a very traditional role of I didn't work. I stayed home. I cared for the kids. My expectation was the house and the kids. There, everybody was fed, everything was clean, and everybody was where they're supposed to be when they were supposed to be there. So my role was extremely, extremely different. And I felt more feminine and felt actually more accomplished as a woman in that role of being a
Yeah, I
traditional
know what you
wife.
mean.
That
I
tr-
know what you mean. I
yeah.
completely do. I've spent 11 years trying to find that woman again. And was I in the perfect marriage? Obviously not. But I did feel most myself in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm constantly having to find a balance now. I'm in a corporate world and have been for a while of finding that balance of where I fall as a mother and I fall as a wife because I'm not home like I was. I'm not
Right.
there. I'm not coming home and may get home at 4 or may get home at 6. I'm finding a more masculine role in my career path and it's very difficult to manage from at a mental standpoint as a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, this actually, I know we went off topic really, but it kind of does tie back into um, it being so important to me to, or my main priority to find a mate is that they can lead me because I truly believe that if a man wants to actually lead me and lead me into a safe place, that he's not going to allow me to get in that position where I'm playing all these different roles and I'm constantly trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
but
not
maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. Maybe my expectations are too high for someone these days.
no. I disagree. I like leading it's just such a gray area that a lot of people aren't going to understand. Like you're leading your family and your wife is your help and support and she is there and you're creating a safety for her, not creating chaos and it goes both ways. Like I don't think your expectations are too high and I think it's
Yeah.
realistic. But you got to find a traditional man that's going to have the same outlook. And I don't know what if there really is that many of them left.
I mean, I think it's different for every relationship because every relationship is different. But I also do believe that a leader, well, in any sort of aspect. I mean, if you're a leader at work, a leader doesn't rule with an iron fist. They
No.
guide. They guide and they teach and they
A
they
good
they
a good yeah.
encourage. It's
Exactly.
not go this way and do this because I said so.
No. You're
There's a
doing
huge difference with
things
that. There's a
yeah.
huge difference in it. And right off the top, if I have a man who starts talking about women being submissive, instead of it being attractive to me, I immediately think this man doesn't really know how to lead. This man wants somebody to control.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. Submissive is not a word.
It's a trigger word now.
Like that's not what we mean at all.
That's why I always say I'm looking for a safe place to land because it's saying that I want a man to lead me. Um, One, it sounds really cliche and cheesy, but also everybody has their own idea of what that means. And for me, what it means is that I can take a deep breath and I don't have to make decisions when I'm with him. He makes the decisions. He's the one
Oh
that's in
yeah.
charge, and then I'm safe there.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Like even the small thing, like when we vacation, I'm literally just told where we're going, what we're doing, and I just show up. And I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
something as far as leading of I'm doing this for you and this I know what you like and don't like and we're going to do this together and
Hmm.
even small as a vacation. Like I just show up. He tells me what to wear and that's not being submissive. I mean, I kind of like it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, if you didn't do things like that every now and again, he would feel worthless. Like, where's his worth in the relationship? Much less
Mhm.
the family. We're not even talking about the family aspect, but in
Yeah.
y'all's relationship,
Yeah. There
yeah, give him
goes
a place to guide. You know.
mhm. And even if it's something as silly as a vacation, then I'll
Hmm.
go for it.
They talk about they. I don't know who they is, so don't ask me who they is. But they talk about whenever when a woman has her first child and she's married. usually, that men usually feel very neglected because for the first time in that relationship, they're not the priority. And it's not necessarily that we're being selfish as women, it's that that little being can literally do nothing on, like, you have to do everything for it. And they feel pushed to the side. And so I think if we could, as you and I, as women, if we could communicate to more women to just um, keep themselves and the priority, they would remember that they chose that man. You
Yeah.
don't even have to say you make the man the priority. Like, keep yourself as a priority, and that'll constantly be a reminder to you that I fell in love with this man for a reason.
You know, it's funny
And
that you talk about having the baby and the man feeling a basically insecurity of what he was comfortable in the first place. Because my second marriage, it was focus was not even on the baby at all. It was 100% me. Like, he knew I had the baby. We've got that. He wasn't even worried. It was 100%. Let me help you. What do you need? What do you need to eat? What do you need? Like, so I didn't experience that in my second marriage with that birth and that baby, because he stepped in and led in a way that typically a man wouldn't do. Like, you know,
yeah,
I hate to say it, but my,
that's means you're with the right person, and that
yeah,
doesn't mean it's always easy.
hell no, it ain't fucking
And
easy.
it doesn't mean you always like each other.
Oh, hell
But
fucking no.
it comes down to respect. It really, really does. And a man feels loved whenever he feels respected. And we feel safe when we're with a man who we can respect.
Yeah. And it's not just safe, and it's safe in knowing your relationship too. Like,
Yeah,
safe that I know he's got my back. He's not going to let our family fall. Like,
that's what I mean by safe. I
yeah.
don't mean like he's going to beat people up for me.
No, not a physical protector, an
I do like him to
emotional,
be able to hang curtain rods, but
no. I guess an emotional, mental, and a spiritual protector that's going to lead properly.
yeah,
And
no,
not,
yes,
and I
all of the
think,
above.
yeah,
So whenever I said this to him and he was kind of like rejecting it in a sense, I it took me back because I'm like, he's technically, even though we don't have anything romantic, he's still technically the type of person that I would try to align with or see if I could align with to
mhm,
date and date
yeah.
long term. And I was like, whoa, I might be missing something really big here that's pretty important.
Hmm.
When I have conversations with men at his point in their lives. I mean, when I have a conversation with a 27-year-old, I don't give a shit what they think. I'm not there for what they think anyway.
Can younger, I mean, I'm almost 8 years older than my husband, though. And he's,
Like, that's the same at this point in our lives. I'm talking about, like, 50 to 25. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, hey, once you're 35, after you're 35, everybody's the same damn age.
you think so?
That's
No,
the way it seems to work for
no,
me.
because there's, I mean, I think once you get like over 50, I just can't. I can't. No. I don't know. It's
I
just
tell
weird to
you
me.
what, though, now I'm 43 now, and I'll say, now I think about like people who got divorced after 30 years and then they met someone else and they remarried, and maybe that's not a good example, but an older man specifically that is in set in his ways for whatever those ways were, whether they were single or married. And actually, I think married doesn't really count because a wife is a wife. But they for them to decide to settle down with somebody and to give up their routines and systems and bring someone into it, that's kind of a big deal. And I'm seeing that like play out in front of me now. I'm seeing it play out in front of me that it's not like they're even trying to be selfish or whatever. It's just, I guess you could say the same thing about older women too. I think we're just more, we want to be in relationships. It's more natural for us to want to be in a long-term relationship.
Nah, all right. All based on our comments, they just think we're old and bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm glad you said that too, because we have the little clips, and I whatever, they can take them however they want to. My expressions on my face are ridiculous, I know. But I'm not bitter at all. I'm curious. Like, I'm genuinely curious to try to understand how we as a society got ourselves in this situation, because it is not good. I mean, we joke about it, but it's sincerely not good. And yes, if I moved to Thailand, I probably would be better off, but that's not going to happen because I have children. So I have to, make what's best with what I got.
It's a low testosterone in men. That's what it is.
Low testosterone for real. And look, these men that say, like, you're just not giving the right ones a chance, what makes you think that you're the right one? Because that's a really, really feminine comment you just made.
Have you, okay, now that you're, let me ask you this. Now in Nashville, and there's a new dating pool, right? So are you seeing the same comparison as where we are in Louisiana as in Tennessee? Like, are men the same? Because I feel like you're a little more country there. And I
Yeah.
feel like men may be more
I mean, well,
traditional.
I mean, here in Nashville, it's actually more liberal than the rest of the state.
Oh,
You have a lot of California that's come here, and the natives do not like that at all, by the way. But
well,
no, I will say if I had been born and raised in Louisiana and have two ex-husbands there, it is way easier to find a decent man in Louisiana than here, because here everyone is looking for the next best thing. So, I mean, like, the running joke here is that you can fall hard in love with somebody and 6 months later you'll be blocked, like, or in jail. Like, there'll be domestic violence charges. Like, it's heavy and hard or nothing at all. Um,
so not
and
much.
the men here are definitely set in their ways for sure. And I mean, they have beautiful women around everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah. Hell yeah, they do. I mean, I've only been not nearly as much as you, but it's like sexy legs everywhere. I mean, I followed some of those women around. They were so hot. Like,
I mean, there's some beautiful men too. Don't get me wrong, but they don't want anything. If you're to them, you're lucky if they fuck you. They're like, oh well, you made the list.
you made
You're
the
not even, you're
roster.
not even a good lay.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
All right, what do we learn from all this?
We didn't learn. The only thing we learned from this was that I now have something new that I need to look into.
Wait, which part? What are you looking into?
When I talk to men and I'm genuinely telling men, um, in the on my side of things as a single woman, when I'm telling them that I'm looking for a safe place to land, are they taking it as me saying, I need you to just carry me for the rest of my life?
Oh, you got to find a way to explain it better.
Right. I've got to find a way to communicate what I'm saying better, because I'm not saying that at all. I'm definitely saying that I'm looking for someone who I respect that much.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I'm not really sure if this, for me, I'm just glad that you do have somebody like that, and you're not out here in this sand pit of muck.
Well, I can tell you, talking to you or other singles makes me want to make my marriage work more because
I
it's
want to
like,
tell people that all the time. Exactly what you just said.
yeah,
When I meet people that are married, especially like here in Nashville, because I'm doing social things, and there'll be men more than women, but that I'll be around that are married. And I'm like, why aren't you at home with your wife? Like, why aren't you doing whatever? And they're not being bad. They're not cheating or whatever. It's just like, do you realize how good you actually have it?
to have
Like,
someone.
it's okay for Saturday to watch football with the guys and that be enough socializing. Like, go home to your wife.
Yeah.
Why
It's
are
like
you at Losers at 1 o'clock in the morning?
if you're in a bar and at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like standing on the fence, grazing the other side to see if it's greener. Like you haven't crossed
I
over
agree.
yet,
I agree.
but you keep
But they're
putting.
not technically doing anything wrong, so you can't say they are.
No, but if you continue to put yourself in that situation, you're going to jump that fence eventually. So that's on them. Go home to your damn wife.
I found out by doing my own little research recently that a guy, I was not interested in this guy at all, but I was so upset when I figured this out. This guy that does not live here, but he comes in and does work here or whatever, and he texts me and he DMs me and he sends me all this like cute and funny stuff, and he's sweet or whatever. He's not only married, but he has a wife that's like literally about to give birth to their first child. And I only figured that out by going and doing my own research on the internet. And technically, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yes, he has.
He's done a lot wrong.
He's done a lot wrong. He's emotionally, mentally investing in another woman that's not his wife. That's cheating.
Well, and he still has never mentioned it to me. It's just once I figured it out, I quit responding to him. But I talked to our mutual friend about it, and the mutual friend was like, "Oh, well, he would never actually cheat on her. He just likes to know that he still got it." And I was like,
That is.
"Well, first of all, he he should have told me he had a pregnant wife at home. Like, it could have just come up in conversation. He didn't have to say, 'Hey, Leah, I have a pregnant wife. Don't talk to me like that, which I didn't even talk to him like that. But it was it like why if you love your wife and you're having a child, why wouldn't that just come up in conversation
So
unless you're avoiding
he's
it?
going to spend his whole entire rest of his marriage looking for gratification from other women.
And
What?
that is not a her problem. That is a him
That's a
problem.
him problem.
That is, she is, it, don't give me some crap about she's not doing her part. First of all, she's huge pregnant, okay? And second of all,
Or baby.
no, that is a him problem that he should have never put a ring on his finger if he wasn't ready to let go of that ego trip.
No. And I can tell you mentally, you're saying this, and I can look and think in my head of knowing I'm in a healthier relationship because the only person I want validation from is my husband. Nobody else fucking matters to me. On my appearance wise.
That's
Or
how it
like,
should be.
yeah. And not like, I'm not looking for like stroke my ego validation. I'm just like, if I spend an hour getting dressed and I come out, just tell me I look pretty. That's it.
Yes,
That's
and
all I
it
need.
matters. Like it really matters from you. But
Yeah.
I could have 500 likes on Instagram and it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Whenever we're out socializing and we're around people who are drinking, and if a guy I know that's been drinking tells me that, oh, you're so pretty, my first thought is, you're drunk. Like what? Like how? And I can't say it out loud because it just sounds rude
Well,
and like
that's
I'm not
liquid
accepting the
courage. He's got
compliment. But
liquid
I want to be
courage.
like, you do realize that you ever heard drunk goggles? Like, how do I know that I'm really pretty? Because you're looking at me through drunk goggles.
Oh my gosh.
It's definitely something I think about all the time. Hey, I did on a funny note before we finish up. I last night found myself in a group of men. I guess they're called men that were like my son's age, basically, and that are like they have like a lot of followers and they do TikTok dances and stuff. And I thought it would be funny to tell them that I was 10 years older than I actually am. And because I was wearing a hat that said old lady, and they bought it, which sucks for me. But they just kept saying, kept saying, you're so pretty for your age.
Motherfucker.
And I was like, I'm not even that age, but thank you. Thank you for thinking I was 53.
Hey, but I've
Accepting
told
it.
you all, and we've talked about it before when I was bartending for so long and I was still like 40. I would tell people, like when I was 35 bartending, I'm like, yeah, I'm 40. They're like, oh my God, you look so amazing. I'm like, I know. But it's like, same mean.
Once I decided to go with the lie, I had to follow it through, but I was disappointed in myself because now I was sitting there like self-deprecating, not self-deprecating, what's the word I'm looking for? I was like beating myself up because I'm like, shit, these little mofos think I'm 53 years old.
They still fuck you though.
They got drunk goggles on.
All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right. Bye. So peace. Bye.